Are you ready to benefit from a fundraising calendar? Strategic fundraising for nonprofit organizations requires a detailed plan and a fundraising calendar to keep everything on track. This tool helps nonprofits organize when and how they'll achieve their fundraising goals. A fundraising calendar is an essential resource when it comes to accomplishing your goals. I'm Noel with Jotform. And if you're ready to take your fundraising to new heights, stick around and we'll go over some tips and tricks you can use to create a fruitful fundraising calendar. Your fundraising calendar will usually take the form of a spreadsheet in which key information is outlined about the current year's fundraising strategy. This key information can include how much money the nonprofit is looking to raise, the various planned activities, dates, and deadlines for each activity, details regarding the targeted donor segment for each activity, and details on expenses and income. Today, we'll cover some tips related to each of these areas that'll help you create a thorough and informative fundraising calendar for your nonprofit. A great first step in building your fundraising calendar is including realistic monthly and annual goals. Consider your annual macro fundraising goal for the coming fiscal year and how you'll earn those donations throughout the year. On one hand, some nonprofits have a fairly even cadence on incoming donations every month. On the other, some can tend to bring in more donations during certain months of the year. Look through your historical data to determine which category you fall under. When doing this, make sure to consider the following. Year-end can be a popular time for nonprofits to make appeals to donors because they're more likely to be generous. As a result, you may have larger fundraising goals for November and December. If you have any recurring events, such as an annual event during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, this could be another time period when your donation goal is larger. For many nonprofits, certain seasons can be classified as slow periods. You may have to schedule more events during those months to boost your exposure and hopefully your donations. During this step, determine your monthly goals for each quarter so you have solid milestones to consult every 3 months. Once you've assigned some goals, it's time to add important dates to your calendar that your team needs to be aware of to make those goals happen. In-person or virtual events should be noted on your calendar, from galas, dinners, and silent auctions to benefit performances. Add your campaign start and end dates as well. Add direct mail, email, or social media campaigns that support in-person and virtual fundraising events to your calendar. Make note of application due dates for specific grants related to your locality or missions. Adding these deadlines is always helpful. Include the dates of important monthly or annual board meetings, budget meetings, and trustee meetings that can impact your goals and available resources. Once you've added your hard, immovable deadlines, add soft deadlines such as when you'll be preparing to meet the hard deadlines. The next step in creating your fundraising calendar is identifying your audience for each campaign. Building a personal connection with your donors is key for any nonprofit organization. It inspires people to give generously. For each event, identify the donor segment you'll target. For example, if you're hosting a silent auction in school, you may want to target parents in that community. By segmenting your donors, you can avoid appealing to them too frequently, potentially deterring them from donating altogether. Remember, several other nonprofits may be asking for donations at the same time. Segmenting your donors in your fundraising calendar and tracking when you last engaged with them helps avoid that potential setback. Our last step is keeping an updated account of your resources, expenses, and income along the way. In order to effectively track how close you are to reaching each goal, you'll need to track the output and input of all resources. Include financial resources, volunteer hours, and incomes during this process. Financial resources include your required budget for an event or campaign. For volunteer hours, note how many hours are required to execute the event or campaign, such as 15 hours to design, implement, and monitor a social media ad for an upcoming gala. For income, calculate the funds you've raised minus the expenses. Be sure to compare the total to the expected fundraising goal and determine if you're over or under your projection. As the last takeaway from today's video, remember that even when the year is over, your calendar can still be useful. It can inform you of your efforts for the following year. Do a year-end review and evaluate where and how to improve. Your fundraising calendars will be full of helpful information that will guide and inform you throughout your year. Let's do a quick review. When creating a fundraising calendar, make sure to include realistic monthly and annual goals. Pinpoint the important hard and soft deadlines you've created. Identify your audience for each of your campaigns, and keep an updated account of your finances along the way. I'm Noel with Jotform. Thanks for watching, and happy fundraising.